Grab a pack of assorted doilies at the dollar store to make an easy winter decoration. Fold the doily in half from top to bottom, then unfold it. Now take the left and right sides and fold them in to meet each other. Fold the bottom up to meet the top and unfold. Use a glue gun to spread a very thin amount of glue along the upper half of the curves, stopping before you reach the top curve. Fold the bottom back up to reach the top and smooth the sides. Repeat this with the remaining 7 doilies. Now it's time to stack the doilies. Keeping the folded edge on the bottom, use your hot glue gun to create an upside-down T in the center of the solid section of the doily. Place another doily on top and press to seal. Repeat until all of the doilies are used and make one last T on the top. Turn the stack on its side and open up the stack till the top meets the bottom. Press to seal. You now have your snowflake. Repeat this process with the remaining doilies. Attach a thin string or ribbon and hang from your windows or lights for a festive winter display.
I picked up an inexpensive shower curtain rod. We're going to start with our hanging ivy bush. So what we're going to do is we're going to snip each piece off with our wire cutters into individual stems. Some can be longer, some can be shorter. And of course, we got to work in some flowers. So here I've chosen some of our long cherry blossom stems. And these are the cutters that I use. You can also find these at nicksseasonaldecor.com. But we're going to just snip each stem off individually. To work it in, I'm going to just take the zip tie and I'm actually going to secure it to the rod, not fully, leave a little bit of an opening. And then we can take some ivy that we've already snipped, as well as some of our cherry blossoms. After working those in, just tighten the zip tie. And we're going to do the same thing. And if you wanted to make your life a little bit easier, you can actually do 3 or 4 of these zip ties in advance. And then since we already have all of our flowers cut, we can just slide these zip ties to where we need and then work in our flowers. And you don't have to place them exactly where you want at this point in time because they're still going to be a little bit loose with the zip tie, which actually we can use to our advantage because we can just adjust them later on once we display this. Now I have a big piece of ivy, so we're only going to need 1 piece. We'll take our cherry blossom stem, just place that on top. Now we can take that zip tie and just slide it over. Sometimes you might have to move a leaf or 2, but as you can see, it's very easy to do so. And secure. Now I also have this really pretty variegated greenery that I've already pre-cut, and let's sprinkle in some pieces of this throughout to bulk up the design. So where we have our zip ties, we're just gonna lift them up. There should be enough wiggle room to be able to insert your stem right inside. Here we have another spot that I wanna add a little bit more greenery, and I'm just gonna wedge that underneath, and you can actually bend it to shape and it'll stay exactly where you put it. We'll place another piece here and work in another piece. And here's how it turned out, you guys. I absolutely love it. I think it looks so pretty above my windowsill. Again, curtain rods come in all shapes, colors, and sizes, so feel free to have some fun and choose your own materials.
Grab some Elmer school glue for this renter-friendly project. First, I gave my window a really good cleaning. You'll want to make sure that there is no dirt or grime on your window before you start this project. Then I grabbed some masking tape to mask out an abstract design on my window. This is optional and you can leave it off if you'd like. I grabbed one of these little sponge rollers from Dollar Tree, and then I'm going to take my Elmer's glue and pour it straight into the tray. I rolled my sponge roller into the tray of glue and I'm squeezing out a lot of the excess. You don't want your roller to be oversaturated. Then I just rolled my glue onto the window in a nice, thin, even layer. For a nice, even, and smooth finish, you'll want to roll your window in one direction. Once I was finished rolling the window, I removed that masking tape before the Elmer's glue could dry. Let the Elmer's glue completely dry, and then you have a wonderful privacy window that is also renter-friendly and can be easily removed. I hope this inspired you to get creative with some Elmer's glue.
Check out what I found at the dollar store that's going to completely upgrade my builder-grade blinds without replacing them. To get the burlap ready to use, once it's out of the package, all I want to do is get rid of the wrinkles. So I'm just going to iron it on some low heat before I move on. Now that the burlap is nice and smooth, I want to finish the edges. I don't have to worry about the 2 long edges as they're already finished. I just need to do the side edges. To do that, I'm going to use my low temp glue gun and just put a thin bead of glue along the edge and then fold the burlap over. I only need to fold it over about 1 inch or 2, just enough to catch all the loose edges. Now that that's done, I want to make a pocket for the curtain rod to go through, and I'm going to use my glue gun again. I'm going to fold over the top edge about 2 or 2.5 inches and then glue it down. This is going to create a nice gap that I can slide the rod through. I'm going to do this to the entire length of the burlap until I get to the other end. With all of the edges finished, it's time to put the burlap onto the rod. I'm going to remove the end of the rod to make it easier and then just slip the rod right through that gap that I created at the top of the burlap. I've made sure to put the seams at the back so you can't see them. With the burlap all on, I'll put the end of the curtain rod back on. To finish the look of my faux blinds, I'm going to measure out 2 pieces of twine. I want the twine to be double the width of the burlap, and then I'm going to add on a little bit extra because I'm going to need that for tying later. All that's left to do now for my faux blinds is to scrunch them up and tie the twine. This is going to create a beautiful look that I love. I'll do the same to the other piece of twine, and then I'm done. How pretty are these faux burlap blinds? They make my builder grade blinds look so much better, and they only cost $5. I hope this has inspired you to give your blinds an upgrade as well.
Do you have a window that you want to let in light, but you might also need a bit of privacy with? You're going to start this project by measuring out your boards and using a miter box and a handsaw to create 45-degree edges. Next, use wood glue and press them together. You'll also use a staple gun to secure those corners. If you happen to notice once you flip your frame over that there are small gaps at the corners, grab some wood filler and press it into those gaps, and then grab either a piece of sandpaper or a sanding block and sand it smooth. Once you have your frame elevated, go ahead and shake up your favorite color of paint, shake it well, and begin applying the first coat of paint to the frame. Let the paint dry and then repeat. Once that's dry, go ahead and cut a piece of lace to fit your frame. Remember, the lace should be wider and taller than the opening in the middle of the frame. Once the frame is completely dry, flip it over and place the lace on the back side. Use a nail gun to secure the lace all around the frame that you've made. You want to pull the lace tightly as you go around. Now you're ready to use this beautiful frame that you've made to let in natural light, but to also give yourself a bit of privacy. Who knew a few pieces of wood and lace could come in so handy?
I'm going to show you how to use this inexpensive beach mat to make something really functional for your home. Now you could leave this beach mat as is, but I don't really like the blue trim around it. So I'm starting by cutting 2-inch strips of fabric, and I need enough to cover all edges of the beach mat. Now that they're all cut, I'm going to fold a strip in half and just use an iron to create a seam so that they stay folded together. Now I'm rolling out my beach mat, and I'm going to use some quick dry fabric glue to attach this trim right over the existing blue trim. The seam on those fabric pieces is going to make it really easy to put it in place. I'm gluing the top side first all the way around. Once that dries, I'm going to flip this over and add glue to the back side as well. Now I clipped off those existing blue strings that tie this beach mat together, and I'm just going to replace them with 2 strips of that same brown fabric. I have a window with really bright light that I need some shade on, but I don't know what I want there permanently, so I'm using this as a temporary solution. And I'm just going to push those metal hooks through the holes in the beach mat. You don't have to create any extra holes. Project was inspired by Hometalk creator So Bright Creations. I hope this inspired you to grab an inexpensive beach mat and make a shade for your home or your RV.